All right, guys and gals, so we are going to Spartanburg, home of the Denny's headquarters.
Don't you want to go to Denny's?
But we are going there not for Denny's. We are going there for the Stumpjump. So I raced here 4 years ago, something like that. The course was phenomenal. It was a little damp this time, but it was a good race. This is very cool. So after the race, I had a guy come up to me. I didn't actually catch his name, but after I looked it up, I think his name is Steve. He said that he had been watching my videos and that I inspired him to come out and race, which is pretty cool in and of itself, but this guy is racing out there in the beginner category and he's 72. That's pretty freaking awesome that he's out there racing. Not that I inspired him, I don't mean it by any ways that, like, he is an inspiration to me because I just hope I can still pedal a bike, you know, 10 years from now, much less when I'm 72. So, dude, if I acted like I was a little taken aback, I was. That was super cool of you to come up and tell me that. I love cycling. And for you, in general, to come up to me and tell me that I got you to race your bicycle like that, that meant a lot. I thought that was super cool. I'm a softie. I changed up my settings on the GoPro, so the battery did not last quite as long. It only got like a little over, I think, an hour 10 minutes of footage. Normally I get like an hour 40 of footage, but I wanted to see what the different settings would be like. Let's just move along. I'm rambling. I ramble so much. Oh yeah, this is the start. We used to have to go down there in the park. They must be redoing it. All right, so let's just run through this very quickly. Well, at least under 15 minutes.
On your mark, get set, go. Let's go again.
Woo. That's muddy. I usually on the first lap go way too hard. I usually get the whole shot, I'm pretty decent at doing that, and then I immediately blow up on lap 2, and then I just try to limit my losses on the subsequent laps. I had a different strategy this time. So the conditions were wet, and I had no idea what the trail was like. I hadn't ridden here in about 4 years. So I wanted to actually maybe do the first lap at a decent pace. Maybe I would say 70 to 80% of what I could give. Just enough to where if somebody wants to pass me, they're gonna have to work for it. The way this course is set up, it's like the first third is kind of downhill. It's pretty flat in the middle, and then the last third is uphill again. Very grindy, a lot of roots. So at the beginning of this, since I did get the whole shot, I let the brakes fly. I went down this at a pretty decent click. I will say, Will is a excellent climber. I hope that he weighs like 120 pounds because he was kicking my rear end on the climbs. Thank you, buddy. So I let the brakes go. I held a pretty decent pace. And then about a third of the way through the lap, Will actually caught me. There you are. So with it being wet, it was kind of interesting because I could actually hear when Will would brake. A lot easier than any other race I've been in because his brakes were squealing. So that kind of let me know. I was kind of keeping these mental notes of, you know, where he was braking at and can I go faster through those sections. So if I could, I was letting it fly where I thought he would be braking. So this section right here, I do have to kind of comment on it because I love it. This is what this trail is known for. Everyone remembers it for this. The canopy in this little section is super high. It's a lot of greenery on the bottom. It almost makes you feel like you're like racing speeder bikes off of Indoor. I think it was Indoor in Star Wars. I love this section of trail. It's right next to the, I guess it's a creek. It's a little bigger than a creek, smaller than a river, but it's pretty awesome. So, and I do like it because you kind of get in this rhythm. You get in this rhythm, right? And you're riding through, and then all of a sudden, right at the end, hard left turn straight up the side of a really steep hill. So it really breaks everything up. I did really screw up this water crossing. I was not expecting it. You come out there, that ledge is a lot bigger than it looks. So I hit that, I screwed up. I had to unclip one foot. Will was behind me. I felt kind of bad.
I was not expecting that.
So for the rest of the lap, once you get through kind of the indoor section of this trail, and it's not really double track, but it's a little wider than single track. A lot of the climbs are kind of really open, and you can tell that tons of water has been flowing through them, so it must have been a rough couple years. And they're just grinding climbs.
I didn't know what was on the other side. That one's a lot better than the first one. Right.
So we were doing 3 laps on here. So this is coming in to lap 2. This is the start-finish feed zone. My lovely wife standing there waiting for me, handing me a bottle.
Good.
But right here, so this grass sucks. It's tough. And it just it's like Velcro to your tires. And Will came around me right here. I was actually very proud with how I reacted. Normally, I would just blow up everywhere, sit on someone's wheel until I'm dead. I was like, no, we got 2 more laps of this. So I sat on his wheel when there could be a draft. You know, we both took separate lines through the mud hole coming up here. But then when we got out on the road, there was already a slight gap. I had known that I was a little faster than him on some of the downhills, so I was like, well, let that gap go. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Let the brakes fly. Like I said, Will is a phenomenal climber. He even commented that I do really good on the short kicker climbs. He couldn't get a gap on me, but there's probably 3 really decent little climbs on this trail. And my game plan here, like, I just wanted to keep Will in sight. If I could keep him in sight, I wasn't in panic mode yet. I would last about 2/3 or maybe 6/8 of the way up the climb. It was just as we're cresting the top. Right here, he's at the top of the climb, turning right. I'm still coming, but I am dropped. Like, he dropped me going up these things. And I would just, on the flats, I would put some power down. On the downhills, I would let the brakes go, and I would claw my way back on. Like, the second lap of this race was the most fun I've had in a while, because it was literally just this, I don't know, race of attrition where he kept dropping me on these hills and I kept catching back up on the flats. And then here, I kind of got a little panicky because Will actually cleared this pretty good. I should have given myself more room. I tend to screw up if I'm really riding behind somebody's wheel and I'm riding their pace. I tend to mess up a little more. Will got over it fine. I unclipped again. I screwed it up. And he hit it right here. I heard the gears click, 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 and he was hitting it. And I heard him have to slam the brakes. I don't think he was expecting that turn. I got clipped back in, and I did 4 or 5 big pedal strokes, got back up to speed, started reeling him back in. But I did panic a little bit right there because he had a gap, and I thought I had royally effed up that that little kicker of a, I don't know, creek crossing. It really caught me off guard. And no, on the third lap, I didn't make it up again. I actually, on the third lap, I will be quite honest, I got up and over it, but I was at a standstill because I had to do this really ghetto bunny hop maneuver to get up it because I was dying, to say the least. But when I got up it, I had to unclip, put my foot down. I hate to say it, but I only got about a little over an hour of this 2-hour race on video, so I think I'm gonna still fidget a little bit with the settings, but I'm just gonna run through the rest of the race with you guys super quick. So when we came through the start finish for the second and the final time, I had to come around Will. My game plan, because he kept dropping me, I was like, if he really hits it this last lap to get up some of these hills and I get dropped, I don't know how many times I can keep clawing my way back on. So we start this last lap. I let the brakes fly on it. I pushed the pace. I kept it steady on the climbs once I was in front of Will, but I did not attack the climbs. I just wanted to not blow up, keep it at a good pace. But every time it was a flat section, I was in a big gear. I was pushing it as hard as I could go. But Will caught back up to me. I think it was one time, and then after that, he said that he was just done. He could not keep. It was basically an interval race. He couldn't just keep doing those intervals over and over. By the end of that last lap, after I put in that final really hard effort, I came out of the woods in first. I won on the day. It's my first time winning a Category 1 event, and I was happy with it. I was very happy with my effort. effort. I could not complain. So there you guys have it. There is the stump jump. I had a blast, and thanks to Steve for coming out and racing his bicycle with us. The last race, like I said, got postponed, so we got a couple weeks before we do that one, but I will see everyone in the next one. Stick around for, I think it's gonna be a Fathom video coming out next. All right, guys, that's all I got for you. Later.